Take to radio, the remix in your soul. Indie beats and killer comedy, taking control. Got that rhythm, got that wit, a perfect blend from the start of the show till the very end. Spinning tracks, you never thought you'd
Oh,
find.
welcome to Take Two Radio, the remix. I am Pam, your host, and with me is my trusty friend, Anthony. How are you doing, Anthony?
I am doing very well, though hot as Hades.
Wow. I think that's pretty much everywhere. We're in the 90s all week, and with the heat index, it goes up, up, up. And our heat index is going up, up, up because of who we have as a guest today.
Oh, yes.
As an acclaimed pianist, musical director, arranger, mentor, and educator, who does all that? Well, this guy does. He spent decades shaping unforgettable performances while collaborating with some of the most respected voices in music. Millions came to know him through his years at the piano on American Idol, but his story stretches far beyond television. From Broadway and concert stages around the world to mentoring the next generation through the Lucie Arnaz Awards and creating opportunities for aspiring performers at his Palm Springs open mic nights, his career has been defined not only by extraordinary musicianship, but by generosity, collaboration, and a genuine love of helping others discover their own voice. Today, we're looking forward to talking about the artist's journey behind the music, the lessons learned, the relationships built, and the moments that shaped one of the industry's most respected musicians. It is our pleasure to welcome Michael Orland to Take Two Radio, the remix.
Oh, wow, that was so nice. I thought you were going to say, ladies and gentlemen, Barry Manilow.
Yes.
Oh my God, I got a copy of that. That was so nice.
He wrote the
We-
songs that make the whole world sing.
That's right. And one of the reasons that my career took a big upstep, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Michael, one of the things I usually start out with asking anybody that we're interviewing is like, when did the bug hit you? When did you discover music? And so on and so forth. But with yours, I saw something, I read it, as a matter of fact, I think it was maybe from your website or somewhere around there. That after seeing Mary Poppins at just 3 years old, you came home and played songs by ear on the piano. Who
That is
does that?
that is true. And then I actually had to go to the ear doctor afterwards because I got an earache from playing by ear.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was the worst joke. I am so full of dad jokes, you're gonna have to stop me.
Did he give you a spoonful of sugar?
Yes, exactly. So that is the truth. I think it was like 1964 when that movie came out. I just gave my age. I don't care. And I remember like every member of my family like took me to it. I got my aunts and uncles and both my grandmothers took me to it. And I remember coming home. We had a piano in our living room that was my grandmother Dorothy's, and I just sat and played the songs from it like by ear because I had never had a lesson. And when I was 4 years old, my mother took me to a piano teacher in my hometown of Worcester, Massachusetts, and she said, no, 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 he's too young to start right now. And my mother's like, sit down. I sat at the piano and played for Mrs. Siegel. And she was like, okay, we'll start today. And
Wow.
that was how it all started. I mean, like I wanted to do it. Like my mother and father had to get me up from the piano to go do my homework because I literally played every minute I could.
So music obviously came naturally to you, but taking it to the level that you're at now requires years and years of dedication, repeating the same phrases, learning fingering, and so much more that those of us who only played a little or never played at all can't even possibly imagine. What did that teach you about preparation, and what preparation did it set you up for as this turned into a lifelong passion and career?
Yeah, that's such a great question. You know what? I tell people all the time they have to have the work ethic to get where they need to get. And I think I was just born with it. I don't even know. I come from a working family. My grandmother owned drugstores and everybody worked when you wanted something. Yes, you could get anything you want, but you had to come work for it. And I practice, I put my time in, I paid my dues. There was no such thing as reality TV back then. And like a lot of kids today have the misunderstanding that like you can get on a TV show, a singing reality TV show and become famous overnight, but it's not how it works. And and I put all the work in and I loved what I was doing. I had the passion for it. And I just think I never wanted to give up. And believe me, I took many different turns along the way. And when it came time for college, my parents said to me, "Oh, don't go into music. That's not a sure thing. You love math. Go to school to be an accountant." And because I did love math, but I literally I listened to them because I was a good son, but I went to school to be an accountant. I was so miserable. I made it through 2 years of it, and I was like, that's it. I have to do music. I have to do music. I remember being in one of my classes and I looked at the blackboard and I like saw stuff that was written down. I literally got up, put my book in the trash and walked out, and I never went back. And within a couple months later, I had moved to New York, and I don't think I even told my family I had dropped out of school yet. And I knew I wanted to do it. I just knew I had to do it. And that's what I try to teach kids today. Like sometimes we have to get little side jobs to get us through and pay the rent and do whatever we need to do. But you have to want that thing so much and so badly and know that you're willing to put in whatever work you need to and all that stuff. And I say I got lucky, but people get mad at me when I say that. I got lucky because I was in the right place at the right time for so many job opportunities. But I definitely did the work, so I had the talent to get me through it. But we all have so many talented friends that have not had the breaks. Do you know what I mean? They weren't there for
Hmm.
the chance to
Yeah.
do something. I have so many brilliant pianist friends and so many people in show business that should be huge Broadway stars. They just haven't had the opportunity and they haven't been seen yet. But I literally was at the right place at the right time for so many of my job opportunities, and I feel blessed, and I keep putting in the work. I learn new songs every day with my students. Most of my students are, in high school and junior high school and elementary school, and so I'm constantly learning new songs, and it's so great for me. I love it.
I just have to follow up on that for a second because it sounds to me, and based upon the research that I did for this as well, it sounds to me like it's not you have to serve the art or the art serves your talent. It sounds to me like it has to be that marriage, and you can't be afraid of hard work.
100%, 100%. And listen, there are nights when, like the first job I had where I had, because I dropped out of school and because I didn't go to music school, most of the things I learned, like writing charts out and like conducting for a band, they were all learned from just being thrown into a situation. The first time I remember I had to play piano with like a nine-piece band, and I was up all night, literally memorizing every single chart. I was so afraid one of the musicians was going to ask me, "Oh yeah, where do I come in?" or what is this marking here? And I was like, I literally stayed up the whole night before and memorized everybody's chart. I wanted to be so ready. I was freaked out that I was, going to miss something and or be found out. You know what I mean? But everything
Hmm.
I've learned has been from another amazing mentor or from just doing it myself, and that's literally how it happened. But it is a lot of hard work, and I just love the hard work. And like, my mom always says, my son doesn't work for a living, he plays for a living. She thinks that's really funny. And
Yes.
but I sit at a piano all day. And when I was doing American Idol, I sat at the piano sometimes for 12, 14, 16 hours a day, and it was the greatest thing ever. I literally, it's joyful. And I watch my own students come in, like even my, adult students that come in and go, "Oh my God, I've had the worst day ever," and they sing for an hour and they leave feeling like they're on top of the world. It's just I know what the music does to the people, and I'm so blessed to be in a position to do that. You know what I mean? I just love it.
It's funny that you mentioned that about them feeling better once they start singing, because I absolutely just read an article yesterday stating that music helps people change their minds and brings them happiness. Their endorphins come in.
Oh, I love that.
And
Absolutely.
and they said you don't even have to do it for, 30 minutes. Just do it for 5 minutes
Yep.
and it will totally change your mood.
That's
And
so
I believe
beautiful.
that.
I know it. I've seen it with my own eyes. And
That's
and it's just like, especially, like, we're living in a crazy time right now with all these things going on, and we all have to just get along and be peaceful and full of
hmm
love. But the music I watch, like when people come to shows that I'm playing for, I just see what it does for them. It's just like even coming to a show and coming to see someone's concert is like an escape from reality, and it just makes you feel
hmm
so good. It makes you feel so good. It's just I'm so blessed to be in this position.
Yeah, I've always said that music helps you in so many different emotions that you're having. If you're having a bad day, you listen to something uplifting, or if you feel like crying and you can't get it out, you listen to something sad, or you listen to something from your childhood, or I
Absolutely.
mean, it's just there's nothing better, and music is that old saying brings people together is absolutely true and will always be true.
100%.
So the first time you accompanied a singer, how did that experience change the way you looked at the piano? Like helping them tell their story.
Well, it's funny because, when I was growing up, I literally, my mother says I teethed on a we had a wooden stereo, like it was in a console. And she said that I teethed on that. And I would just sit and listen to records all day and night. I never had any friends growing up. I had a few of my brother and sister's friends, but I didn't go out and play sports or anything. I mean, I didn't know, I wasn't into it, but I didn't even know. And I literally, everything was music, music, music. And I, even in school, I don't even remember having that many friends. I had very few friends. But when the people in high school found out I played piano, I became like the most popular person in the class.
Yes.
And so that was my first like time like starting to play for people. But also, what the funny part is when I was taking piano lessons, and I took from age 4 until I graduated high school. But I used to bring like all my favorite songs to my piano teacher, and I was go, "Can we just go over the score to Fiddler on the Roof? Can we do some Carpenter's music? Can we do a Barry Manilow song?" She's like, "Nope, we only do classical here. You do that on your own time." But I'm so happy that she did that because it really was the basis for the foundation for any playing anything. To me, it was at least. And I'm not as swift on the classical right now. If someone brings me a classical piece, I have to just definitely put my work in to learn it and do whatever. And as long as the composer is not alive, I know I can change it a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, that's, that Maria Callas famously once said, I'm the interpreter, but they'll never know if I interpret just a little bit differently to suit my
Exactly.
voice for the night. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. And that's one of the most famous operatic singers ever to have lived. So
Totally.
you're in
Yeah.
the right company, my friend. But I want to go back
Right.
to accompaniment for a second. I fancy myself a fair to middlingly good singer, and I've worked with a few accompanists over the years. And I think people don't realize, or people think, hey, it's playing the song, maybe stopping and saying you're drifting here, but there really is a lot more, for a relationship between a performer and an accompaniment. I can never say that word right,
Yeah.
but there's that relationship there. So what are some of the technicalities? What are you looking for? How do you pull someone into the space of the song if they're not quite there? What are some of the techniques of it, and what does that relationship feel like for you as the master in the relationship?
I have to tell you, I say this to people all the time. Literally, what you just said, the relationship between a pianist and a singer is like literally the most intimate you can get. You're literally sitting there and playing for and breathing with these people. And it's so, I feel so blessed to get to do it. I mean, I consider myself a really great accompanist, even more than I can say I'm a great pianist. I know how to follow anybody, and it brings me joy. I work with a lot of singers. I don't want to be dropping a lot of names because I don't have a broom with me to sweep them up later. But I just have to say one name. One of my favorite people to work with ever, ever, ever is Broadway actress and TV actress Kristin Chenoweth. I was just with her in the country of Latvia for July 4th, and I forget what joy I get by following her and breathing with her. And we can do a song 3 nights in a row, and she does it different every single night. But she knows I'm going to be there with her, and it's just I love giving a singer that freedom. Now, if it's somebody younger and not with experience, I love helping them out too. As a vocal coach, I love to say, let's like pick this part up here or whatever. But I want the singer to interpret it. And that to me also is how a singer interprets it, like that famous classical singer, is that makes it not a karaoke version and that everybody's heard before. That's making the song your own and showing that you have, your own style and technique and all that stuff. And that's what I love helping people find.
Well, you
You
couldn't
know,
pick a better name to drop. We love Kristen.
right?
Oh, one of the all-time
we
greats ever, ever, ever.
we
Yes.
love her, not only just, her singing, but of course anything she's acting in as well. She's got the talent that, just covers everything. So,
Yeah,
but her singing, you just don't expect it out of that little person,
I know she's only 4'11". I don't know how she sings that big.
And
right?
I've seen her bring people on stage that she sings with, and I've seen Powerhouse and she is blown away. And that gift of generosity comes through her artistry. She's just such a great person. But we're
Absolutely.
here to talk about Michael, and Pam, I think you have
Yes.
another question.
Uh-oh.
I do. And it is about generosity and that devote your time, as I mentioned in the intro, to encouraging other performers through Lucie Arnaz Awards, Palm Springs Open Nights, Mike, or open mic nights. Let's try that again, because I see that you put a play on it and put in parentheses, Michael nights. And
Exactly. Open
I
Michael.
get a kick out of that. And also the Global Refugee Children collaboration. And we'd love to know more about all of the above. And at what point did helping others become just as fulfilling as performing yourself?
I have to tell you, I don't even enjoy being on stage alone. I love playing for people. A lot of times, like I have to do like a little overture or something for somebody, and I'll just get through it. But I don't enjoy it like I do sitting there playing for somebody. But and I also have written a lot of songs and stuff. And I was actually just in Boston writing with my dear friend Stacy Gruber, who I've written a lot of songs with. And but that song "We All Stand Together" was written for a friend of mine's organization, for children that were like all over the world. And it's called "We All Stand Together, Not a Break in the Human Chain. If we all stand together, we all stand to gain." And I had just proposed it to them when they told me about their project, and then they fell in love with the song, and we recorded it, and it's been really fun. And so they're trying to just raise awareness for all that fun stuff. But even more than I really enjoy the collaboration of what I do and like being with other people. And like Kristen does, she does bring people on stage that she doesn't even know that will come sing with her. And she also has this, I didn't mean to bring it back to her, but she has this amazing Broadway boot camp that I worked at for 8 years. And that just bring this young generation of people that want to be doing this, and with her hands on, and she brings in teachers from all over the country, and I've been so blessed to be a part of that for so many years. And it's just so great. It's like just the fact that we get to encourage people to do what they want to do is just everything. So even when I do an open mic night every month in Palm Springs, and I do one in Los Angeles, and I love anybody can come. It's all ages, it's all material, all types. People can bring me a show tune, a jazz song, a rock and roll song, an original song. It doesn't matter, a Broadway song. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm willing to try it. If you don't have music, I'll fake it because I guess I'm so old I know every song ever written. But as a matter of fact, I'll tell you a funny story about that. Oh my God, I have to drop another name. Forget it. I'll tell you later.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
I also work a lot with the brilliant, brilliant, brilliant David Foster, who is literally one of my all-time idols. I got to meet him the same day Catherine McPhee met him on season 5 of American Idol, when he came on and was a mentor with Andrea Bocelli. And I've always been a huge fan of his writing and everything, and he's just a genius. He changed the sound of 1980s music, really, when you look back at it and think about it. And I've gotten to work with, I've been going on the road quite a bit with him and with Catherine McPhee, and I've been family friends with Catherine now since she was since I coached her on American Idol. And her mom is a teacher, her sister's a teacher, her sister still works on American Idol, and her sister, Catherine and I are the godparents to her sister's oldest boy. We're literally family, but David's been taking me on the road a lot with him lately, but he does a fun thing in his show where he says, I want you to try to stump my pianist, and you can yell out almost any song. We can play it if you want. I'm not afraid. I'll go to my piano. And I just know every great American songbook song and musical theater songs and pop songs. I don't even know how or why, but we do that fun little stump the pianist in David's shows now when I travel with him. It's really fun.
That is awesome. So let's take this a little bit more universal. You mentioned Latvia before. I know you were recently in Germany as well. Playing around the world, is the old adage music is a universal language? Do you find that to be true, or do you learn something from every destination you play in, or is it both?
I think that music is so universal because I have been in many foreign countries, and as a matter of fact, we went to oh my God, I'm just blanking where we just did this whole Dubai, where we first debuted this song that we all Stand Together, it's called.
Stand Together.
And
Yeah.
it was a room full of people from all over the world, but it's amazing how music just brings everybody together. And even with a language barrier, it was such a beautiful thing. So I don't know. And I definitely travel more in the United States than I do out of the country. But I find that the language barrier has never been an issue when it comes to music.
I listened to an Italian singer, actually a few of them.
Yeah.
Do I know Italian? No. I took 2 years of it in high school. I got straight A's, but when you don't use it, you lose it, as they say.
Of course.
So, I took some Spanish and the same thing, but I can pick up words here or there. But you don't necessarily listen for just the words when you're listening to a song. It's his voice, it's the emotion he
100%.
pulls out, and oh my gosh, I've seen him 15 times in concert, if that'll tell you anything.
I think you're a little obsessed in a good way.
Yes, in a good way. It's been a few years, but I absolutely love it because he does sing some English, but a lot of it is in Italian. So I just love it, no matter what it is. If it's got a good beat or it's got a feeling to it, I'm going to listen to it.
I think that if it makes us feel something, then it doesn't even matter what the language is. It's just, that's what it is. It's like when we hear a song, it takes us back to a specific time and where we remember where we were. And,
Yes.
I love music for that. I love it. And a song that can make you just sob or feel good or remember somebody amazing in your life that's no longer here, all that stuff is just so powerful.
Oh my gosh, yes,
Yeah.
there's songs that definitely bring me to tears. So missing my
And
mom.
you don't even have to be near an onion being cut to do the tears. That's great.
Right, exactly. So to bring it to another, place in this world that you have taken a hold of and that is daytime television. Anthony and we had some other co-hosts, are huge soap opera fans. And
Okay.
we know that you have original music on daytime soaps, but also on primetime series. I'm not leaving them out. But
Yeah.
when you're writing for television, are you thinking like a songwriter, a storyteller, or a little bit of both?
I have to tell you, I mostly write music. The people that I work with and write with are amazing lyricists, and some do lyrics and music. But I've literally can remember one song that I co-wrote with these two music giants, Alan Rich and Jed Friedman, who wrote the song "Run to You" from Bodyguard. We wrote a song together, and I actually like wrote one of the lyrics, and I was like, "Holy mac! I just wrote a lyric."
Yeah.
I really mostly do music, and all the songs that have been placed of mine on a lot of daytime soaps and stuff were just placed by publishers who had, access to my music library, and they just pitched my songs, and a lot of them got on some of these soap operas. It was crazy, and and a couple, nighttime sitcoms. I had some friends that were television writers, and they were like, "We need to have you. We're going to have you on to play the piano player this week, and we're going to do maybe if you can write us something, will fit and blah blah blah." It was just that's how it happened. It literally, again, right place, right time, and so I've never written specifically for something like that, but I just was lucky to get some of my songs placed. But I mean, I have so many songs that I've written, and my friend Stacy and I just finished a brand new song this past week. It's just like I need to get better at getting my songs out there. I mean, I'm happy with where my life is and where work is, but there are definitely things, and I think that's what keeps people going too. There are definitely things I want more. I want more. I want different. I want the next thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think,
Mhm.
but I was on so much daytime television, not even soaps, but I was on every one of those daytime talk shows because I when I started at American Idol, I think starting season 4, which was Carrie Underwood year, Ellen DeGeneres was obsessed with the show, and she used to have as
Mhm.
every kid got voted off, we went
Yeah.
we went on the show, on the Ellen show, and they always had me play because it saved them time and money, whatever, because they had somebody that already knew the kid and knew the song and whatever. And so I literally was on that show, I think more than 75 times on the Ellen show. And now oh God, I'm about to drop a name. Now my dear friend Jennifer Hudson, someone get a broom. Pick that name up. Anyway,
We're collecting them. We're collecting them for you.
okay, good. But Jennifer Hudson, is so successful and has her own talk show right now. And she's had me on several times, like with different people, including Adam Lambert. And it's so fun. And just again, I just go, God, this is I'm so blessed and so grateful and full of gratitude.
I just saw Jennifer and Josh Groban down
Oh
here
my
in
God.
Florida. And, when I worked for the Associated Press, I interviewed her quite a few times. I screamed something out and she actually saw me and shouted me out, which was amazing. But you look at that's passion, talent, and perseverance. Like,
100%.
there's not a better example that I can think of, with what she's gone through in life and the heights that she has seen, only
Yep.
to still be so real and genuine. Amazing, amazing.
She really is. She's one of the sweetest, most down-to-earth people. I was her coach on American Idol season 3, and I remember I have never been so devastated when somebody got voted off as when she did, because I just couldn't
Yes.
believe that people could get that so wrong. And you know what? And then I thought, and then when she went on and then like very soon after she got the role in Dreamgirls, and I remember calling her mom and saying, I have to talk to Jennifer and tell her how happy I am. And, it was just so beautiful to watch. And then I got a little bit less emotional when my favorite people would start getting voted off, because I knew if they have that work ethic and they're on that path, nothing's going to stop them. And that was such an illustration for me to watch Jennifer go on and do all that and still do everything, so many different things. And she's just one of the sweetest people ever, ever, ever. And I just love and adore her.
Well, let's stay in that vein for a little bit, but remix it a little. If you could, do that genie in a bottle, magical time transportation kind of thing back to that 3-year-old little boy sitting at the piano, what do you think he would make of your life thus far? And as a fun sidebar, what would Grandma Dottie say?
Oh, well, both my grandmothers, Dorothy and Jinx, would be so happy. I know they're happy watching me, but you know what's so funny is again, like, I even getting American Idol, that was a whole fluke thing that I got it. I literally, all right, this is one of my favorite stories, but oh God, I hate saying, oh, my friend so and so, my friend so. I'm so sorry, you guys.
You're so
Um,
funny.
Okay, I'm going to be really honest with you. We're using this interview to get some of those folks on our show.
okay, I want you to.
Ah,
I want you to.
no,
I
we're
want,
not doing that.
I want you to. But
You
Anthony.
can play nice. I'm real with our people.
yes,
If the opportunity
absolutely.
arises, absolutely. I'm going to say, Michael said you should come. You should come do this.
100%. 100%. You have
Ah,
my blessing to say that. But here's the thing is that like when I was a rehearsal pianist for Barry Manilow back in the mid 90s, and and for one of his tours he did a tour of like all show tunes. It was he did an album like that was all like Broadway songs, and he did a tour of it, Showstoppers it was called, and I was a rehearsal pianist, and his conductor at the time was this brilliant boy and named Kevin Bassenson, and his one of his background singers, who was like his lead background singer, was this woman Deborah Bird, and it was the two of them that literally ran the music department in season one of American Idol. So years later, I'm talking like set, but see, Deborah would call me every time Barry had a new background singer come on. She would go, "Hey, can you come over and rehearse with us for the day? I have to teach somebody, all the parts and stuff." And so I would periodically go in and just help them out. Um, and Barry was just I just respect that man so much. I think he's just one of the most brilliant musicians ever, 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 and one of the nicest guys in the world. And I always, every time I see him or write him a note, I say it's because of you that my whole life changed. Because on season one of American Idol, Deborah and Kevin reached out to me and said, "Hey, Burt Bacharach's going to be we're working on this new show called American Idol. It's like the fourth week, and Burt Bacharach's going to be a mentor, and we know you know every Burt Bacharach song ever written, and we want to know if you can come in and work tomorrow for the day." And I was like, "Oh my!" It was like 9 o'clock at night, and I said, "Oh my God, you guys, thank you." I never heard of American Idol. I didn't know what it was, and I said, "Thank you so much. I'm so sorry, but a friend of mine asked me for a huge favor for tomorrow, and I can't call her at 9 o'clock at night and say I can't be there tomorrow." So I said, and she goes, "All right, well, don't worry." She said, we'll make it work tomorrow, but please bug me again." And she goes, "This show is so up your alley." So I literally 3 weeks later called her and I said, "Just so you know, if you need me, I will drop anything and be there anytime you need me." And like a week later, she said, "Be at the Kodak Theater tomorrow morning. It's the week of the finale of season one." And she goes, "You're going to be there at 8 o'clock." I said, "What time do we work till?" She goes, "I don't know, just to get ready for a long couple of days." And it was the greatest thing ever. So, but I'm going to go back and tell you what my friend had asked me for that I didn't want to call her at 9 o'clock at night and say, "I can't be there tomorrow." So I was really good friends through a fluke meeting, through one of my dear friends who was working as an assistant to the actress Estelle Getty. Now, she doesn't sing at all, so it wasn't even, she was like literally a friend. She wasn't somebody I played piano for, and, of the Golden Girls. And so
hmm
Estelle Getty used to come see every one of my shows. And people, I used to think people just hired me because they knew Estelle Getty would be in the audience. And this was in the height of Golden Girls, like it's in the beginning of it. And I remember like the first time when I first moved to LA, my friend Amy, who was working for us, said, "Oh, I'm taking Estelle shopping for shoes tonight. Come with us and you can meet her." And we literally hit it off, became best buddies from that night on. I used to just go sit in her house on Saturday nights and watch first run episodes of Golden Girls, and she'd make me baked chicken and homemade coleslaw and a baked potato, and we'd just sit there and laugh. And and I would, be her date when she'd have to go to an award show or when she'd have to go to an opening of something. And whenever she was around, she literally, I told you, she came to every one of my shows I played for, and she would look at me and mouth to me in the middle of the show, "Where are we going to eat afterwards?" And anyway, she was
Keeping it real.
yes, and she was such a great lady. In all the years I knew her, she never asked me for one thing. This one particular time, she asked me if I would, she said, it's B. Arthur is coming over to my house tomorrow for lunch, and I would love you to be here. And she's bringing over a birthday cake for me, and I would love you to be here if you don't mind, because I loved all the ladies. And so I said, no, I don't mind at all. And then they called me that night for American Idol, and I would not call my friend. It didn't matter that she was Estelle Getty. I wouldn't do that to any friend. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't cancel on my friend. And I mean, so, and then I had a dear friend of mine, these two girls, Amy and Wendy Engelberg, they're TV writers out here. They write on a ton of shows. Amy called me and I told her that Idol had called me. She goes, "Oh my God, call them back. You have to get on that show. It's the greatest show that I've ever seen on TV." And I was like, I can't do it. So anyway, I turned them down the first day. And sometimes I think to myself, boy, what a dummy. But it worked out. It worked out. And I love telling that story because it just worked out the way it was supposed to. And I love Burt Bacharach, and I got to be friendly with him because he had been on the show so many times. And what a dummy I was to say no to that. But again, I didn't know what American Idol was. It was in the first season. It was not even a huge hit till it got, like by the finale, it was ridiculous and nobody could believe what happened to it. But, it was just that's kind of a fun story, right?
It's a
Yeah,
great story.
absolutely.
And I have to say, I love Bert, I love Barry, I love Bernadette.
Hmm.
But there are
Yep.
no names that you could have dropped that would have made me more excited and filled with joy than Ma and Pussycat.
Ah,
Right? Exactly. Exactly. I still watch
um,
that show every single day.
I know, it's so funny. They're on everywhere, and as a matter of fact, I also write with my dear friend Jamie Wooten, who was he wrote like most of the episodes of that show, and where we write a lot of songs together and stuff. But it's so funny. Everybody knows who B. Arthur and Rue McClanahan and Betty White and Estelle Getty were.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
crazy.
How the writing has
absolutely.
held up. Tell your friend what
Hmm.
geniuses they all were in those rooms
Uh,
because I
Yes.
went to one of the experiences when it was here in Miami. I was in Blanche's boudoir, but I digress. And there were 85-year-olds and 5-year-olds, and they
yes,
all were just as excited and just as bought into these people are friends.
yes,
Ma and
100%.
Pussycat and Blanche and Rose, they're not distant relatives. They're like, at our kitchen tables for
Totally,
the
totally.
bulk of our lives.
You
Yeah.
guys definitely need to have my friend Jamie Wooten on. He's like such a wealth of knowledge from that whole era, and he was in TV in the prime of it, and got out in the prime of it, and everything. And he's such a great guy. But and really, those episodes do hold up, and they're still funny, and they're still double entendre and whatever. But they still work.
So let
The
me take it
facial
back.
expressions when they don't even have to say a word,
Oh,
especially
absolutely.
Dorothy. I mean, she just pulled that off magnificently. She
Yeah.
was so good. Now, we'd be happy to speak with him because, we always go through behind the scenes kind of things and what people don't know about what happens on televisions,
Sure.
shows and stuff like that. So the artist journey, so to speak, like we said. But I want you to look back, but I also want you to look forward. So when someone has the opportunity to work beside you or has,
Hmm.
what do you hope they remember, not about your musicianship, but about the kind of person you are?
Wow. Well, I have to tell you, my biggest goal when I would work with 16 years on American Idol, my biggest thing I wanted to make that person feel was confidence because, we didn't really have time to do voice lessons with these people, but we made them feel so good when they got on stage. And listen, that show, especially in its heyday, when 30 million people were watching it 3 times a week, the pressure these kids felt was unimaginable. I was with them and I couldn't imagine what they were feeling and everything. But we were like, if you talk to many of the people, they would say, we were like the light fun room, like, because everything was so serious. They had to do meetings and they had to meet with agents and they had to go to the recording studio and they had to sing their song and then they had to learn a song in 6 days that sometimes they never heard in their life. And like, we just gave them the confidence to go out there and just get better and better every week. And we would constantly go, let's watch what you did, and you see what you did there, and like, it was just a learning thing. And it's one of my, I think it's one of my specialties, because I just worked with a girl yesterday who's got like a TV show, but she doesn't really sing. She sings because she loves it, and it's fun. But I was like, you came to the right person. I'm going to make you so not nervous about singing that you're just going to have fun with it. And like, even after an hour, she was already feeling the difference. But now we're going to work together a few more times. But, it's just stuff like that. And I hope that can be one of my legacies, that I can just give people a little bit of a side break, and I'll crack a joke, or I'll make somebody, I'm the dad joke guy. I can't help it.
Yes.
And just, I want everyone to feel good. And as long as we get the work done, let's have fun doing it. As long as we get that done, who cares? I don't need to rule with an iron fist or be mean or say, you didn't learn your lyrics this week, you should go home, whatever. But it was just, I love feeding people with that. And I still do to this day. If I can do anything with people, and I'm not a technician. One of my dearest friends, Celeste, and I have so many amazing friends that are voice teachers, but they do all the technical stuff. I'm not a technique person. I'm like I'll teach you some songs. I'll find you some songs. I'll help you cut your songs to audition lengths, and I'll help you prepare for your college auditions and find you great songs to do for that. Or I'll help you find a song you want to do for my open mic night. But I'm not gonna, and I can do a little warm up with people just to make sure they don't hurt themselves. But I'm not the guy to come to and go, can you help me hit that note? And there are unbelievable technical people that help do that. But I want to just always be the guy who will make you laugh and forget that you're stressed, and make you feel so confident that you can just get up there and do it. And I have even people now that come to my open mic nights that go, I'm just going to come, I'm going to buy a ticket, and I don't know if I'm going to want to sing. And I say to them every time, and I've never been wrong, I say, you're going to just sit there and you're going to watch people from all levels of singing. It doesn't matter. It just, these people, the only thing these people have in common is that they love doing it. They're not, some of them are better than others. It doesn't even matter. And for some reason, the people that come to my open mic nights, no matter where I am, I've done them in New York, I've done them everywhere. They're the most loving and supportive audiences, and they want somebody to feel good about themselves. And so every one of these students that said, I'm not sure I'm going to sing, I'm just going to come and watch. And I said, you come and watch, and you text me on my phone during the show if you're ready to get up and sing. And every single one of them have. And it's just one of those things where they feel good afterwards, but you freak yourself out after. I get it, believe me. I love hiding behind a piano. If I had to stand up and speak or talk or sing, I too would not do as well.
I wondered about that with stage fright. If if you had to ever deal with it, but doesn't sound like you did with being at the piano.
Never at the piano. Never at the piano. I've always felt protected. And I mean, if I have to sit there and play a solo, I have to do what I tell people to do and just fake the confidence right now, and then I get through it. And then I have to remember after a show when people come up and say, oh my God, that was so great. I have to just say thank you and know that they mean it, as opposed to going, oh God, but did you hear that one wrong note I hit? And do you know what I mean? I have to constantly do that. It's just who I am. I think a lot of us are like that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But the flip side of what you were just saying, joy is infectious, but so is support. And knowing once that first and second singer are down, and knowing how much support and joy is in the room, that also, it feeds into you, and it brings stuff out of folks that they might not even know themselves were there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And which is what it's so fun for me as their coach to watch that happen. You watch this transformation take place, which is what I did every single week on American Idol when I would watch these kids walk out with such, they would be so, full of confidence. And it was just, it's the most attractive thing to me. And, it's just, there were just so many amazing people along the way, even ones that got voted off early, even people that just made it through Hollywood Week. I bonded with people just immediately just because of the music and just wanting to help them. I mean, I'm still friends with some people that were at Hollywood Week and didn't even make it through. And I was like so mad that those people got cut, but whatever, it didn't hurt them. There are some that are still working nonstop. And,
Yeah.
the famous Tori Kelly story when she auditioned and Simon cut her. And it was like, what the hell is he doing? And like, she's like so unreal, unreal.
Absolutely. So this is the space where typically I would do something towards the like what's next, but you've told us throughout this entire interview you're not slowing down. You're looking for new avenues to feel the creative juices. So I'm going to remix it and say, what are two or three non-music, non-career bucket list items you want to cross off and why?
Oh, non-musical. Well, besides like really like having a hit song out there, that's like my biggest that am aiming for, and I'm not going to give up till it happens. Well, I am pretty convinced I'm going to win the lottery one day.
Oh,
And
I love
although
it.
I really feel like I know I'm going to win it, yes, I do play it. So because people joke and they're like, "Well, you have to buy a ticket once in a while."
Mm.
I
you're in
do.
it to win it.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I, I'm trying to think of like non-musical things that I want to do. I, I have a dog. I've always had a rescue dog in my life, and I have the greatest dog in the world, who's at the park right now with her friends, and I have to go pick her up because she's got the dentist is coming over for her this afternoon. So that's not going to be joyous, but we have to do it anyway. But I'm so happy. I have so much love in my life. I have the greatest family. I have, my mom and my stepfather, and I've got some amazing siblings. And I feel so blessed in my life. And, I got to stay healthy and do all that stuff. That's a lifelong struggle. Because the last time I tried to go to the gym the other day and I put it in my GPS and it took me to In-N-Out Burger. So that's not good.
That happens to me all the
See,
time.
see, and I take it as a sign. So I just go get a double double and just call it a day.
Right.
Well, we can't thank you enough for sharing the stories, and I'll do all the sweeping. Don't worry about it. I got
Not a
that
problem.
covered. No,
Yeah.
but honestly, we can't thank you enough. Your joy, your
Yes.
passion is teaching. The musicality I think is your God-given talent. But you were born to be a teacher. You were born to be that person who helps someone reach in and find something they didn't know was there or were too afraid to bring out. And we really want to thank you for inspiring our audience out there. So tell folks where they can find your music. This is sell your socials. Send them anywhere you want.
Okay. Well, I have a bunch of I did do a couple of solo piano albums. One of them was Christmas music, and one of them was just like some cover tunes that I think it has like 8 songs in it, but every song has a story of why I did it. Like I did a little medley from Mary Poppins because that was how I learned how to play the piano, and I did like a Barry Manilow song because that's how my career took such a huge step. And like there's all different stories of why. And I did a David Foster song because he's one of my hugest American. He's like literally my idol. And just fun stuff like that. So those are all over every music platform. And I'm pretty active. I'm very active on my social media. Some people think it's embarrassing that I do so much, but I I just love communicating with people, and I still talk to Clay Aiken fans and Adam Lambert fans from all over the world still, and so many others. And it's just a great place. And so follow me on my socials, which are just at Michael Orland. And I always have a link tree there of all my upcoming dates and where you can find me and where you can find an old fun interview or where you can find a recording of me or a TV thing that I'm doing. And that's basically everything. And there's also a way just to email me. And I get so many students from my Instagram. During the pandemic, my friend who was helping me run my social media, who was this amazing guy, Caesar, he was like, we're going to do Michael's Tips for Tuesday. And like during the whole pandemic, I did these tips every week. And I got so many students from it because it was just something fun and silly to do. They're still on my Instagram if you go back many, many years. But and now I have another genius man, Martin, helping me with my Instagram. I'm not that good at posting, but he is. And I answer everybody. People can DM me and I will write them back. And it's just great. And that's how we all got to coordinate. And
I was going to say, I can testify to that.
I appreciate you having me on your show so much. And I'm so honored to meet you both.
Oh, I'm telling you, this has been so much fun, and
Yeah.
we'd love to continue with you somewhere down the line. If you have a project, you just want to catch up, you want to talk about something, we're here and we welcome you back
That's
anytime.
amazing. I will be back. Trust me.
As a guide
I
dog user, I'm going to say good luck with the teeth cleaning because I know that most dogs are not all about it, and you're going to get a
mm-mm.
little bit of hate for a couple hours
I
afterwards.
know, I
Yes.
know, but that's why I have someone else do it, not me. But
Well, that's
but
a good idea.
yeah, and listen, my dog, I got my dog right before the pandemic, and so like I have worse separation anxiety from her than she does. I hate to tell you, I'm embarrassed to say, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My dog has never been left alone more than an hour. If I'm going to be gone longer than an hour, I get a babysitter. When I go away, she stays with somebody, or I have somebody come to the house and stay with her. It's hideous. And she comes to
It's
everywhere.
sweet.
She's a registered service dog. She comes with me to every rehearsal. People love her. She's just the mellowest. She's a husky shepherd, and she's so
Oh,
mellow. She loves
Uh,
every person, every dog. She gets along with anybody. She like her daddy has a little bit of body dysmorphia and thinks she's very small, and she loves small dogs. And I don't think that, but about myself,
no, I hope not.
I have it. I just have it. But I did pass on some of my eating disorders to my dog, which is good. I'm proud of. But anyway, but she's such a great girl. And it's so funny. I named her after my grandmother Jinx because when I got my last two dogs, my grandmother Jinx, may she rest in peace, was still alive, and she's like, "Honey, don't name a dog after me." And I said, "Jinx, you don't understand," because that was her name, and we all called her that. It was not till she was much older and in the hospital that I found out her real name was Gertrude. We grew up calling her Jinx. We thought that was her name. And I said, "Jinx, you don't understand. If I name a dog after you, the only person I will love more than this dog is you." And she said, "Don't do it while I'm alive."
Aw,
So I waited. I waited. So
that's so sweet. I
yeah,
love it. We've got to remember our loved ones one way or another, and if it's naming a
absolutely.
dog after it, that's what it
yes.
is.
I know, and I have a niece with her middle name is Jinx, and which is so great. We were all so close we all grew up being so close to our grandparents, and we're still so close to my mom, and all four of us we're all on a text chain. We all text each other. I think it's so important because I went through a lot of family stuff. Oh my God, we're getting onto another subject, but I went through family stuff where this one didn't talk to that one and this one. And I've always been the Libra who goes, everyone needs to just get along. Life is too short. When someone's gone, you can't go back and make that time up. You
Make
can't.
that better. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and
Um,
we're just at a place now. I mean, my dad passed away a couple years ago, but where all my siblings and I are so close to my mom. We're all on a text chain. We text each other daily, and it's really great. And I'm happy for everyone involved, and everyone should be.
yeah,
It's hard to. I don't like the hate thing, and I don't like the holding grudges thing because when someone's gone, you can't get it back.
right, exactly. And it's funny you mentioned being a Libra and that you were the one that did that because my mother was a Libra and my mother kept the family together. And when she passed, it fell apart.
Of course, I get that. I understand. But I'll tell you one other funny thing. My mother's a Virgo, and my two dear friends, Amy and Suzette, they've been friends. I've been friends. So Amy was the first person I ever played for in New York, and I'm still really close to her. Like that was in 1981. Amy and Suzette and I have a club called Children of Virgo Mothers, and we all have very similar. Well, some people call it OCD. And like Mary Lou Henner, I call it OCO. It's just obsessive compulsive order. It's not a disorder for me.
Right.
But
Yep.
anyway, but so great talking to you both, and what a treat.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
And I think that when we have you back, I think we should do a special called Michael Orland Stories and
All
just
right,
let you go. How does
all
that
right,
sound?
fine. I will have a bunch ready for you. I promise.
Okay.
We're gonna
I
have you at a piano setup because I'm gonna stump you. I don't know if
Oh,
it's gonna be Tori Amos or I'm gonna pull something out of the hat that'll stump you.
really? All right. You probably could. I'm sure you could because I mean I don't know every song, but most of the songs you could come up with. Like, what's your favorite Great American Songbook song? Can you think of like a Gershwin or a Cole Porter or a Rodgers and Hart or Rodgers and Hammerstein song?
It had to be you. I mean, it.
Okay, go ahead. See, we're gonna do the next one.
I wandered around and finally found somebody
Oh yeah, and
new.
then Anthony, you got to sing for me. I'm not afraid.
All right, we got to let you take care of your dog, but
Going to get her.
please
All right,
come back.
I definitely will. Thank you both so much for having me.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
All right,
Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Take Two Radio. That's with the number 2. For Take Two Radio The Remix, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Take Two Radio The Remix, again with the number 2. For all things Anthony and Sunday Edition, go to anthonycorona.com, and that's CORONA. Until next time, thanks for listening.